Hello and welcome back to the FPL Tom YouTube channel. In today's video, we'll be covering a no Salah FPL Game Week 1 draft. In the video, we'll be taking a look if it is possible to build a strong Game Week 1 draft without last season's top point scorer. If you do enjoy today's video, then please like, comment and subscribe as we're trying to reach 1,000 subs before the end of the year. But without further ado, let's dive into this draft. And to start us off in goal, we have gone for arguably one of the most popular picks this season in goal. It is Mendy from Chelsea. Amazing value at 5 million. Chelsea last season were the third best defence in the league, and to get their goalkeeper for 5 million is an absolute steal. A lot of people I've seen have been put off by Mendy, but I don't think they've done their research into him. Last season, he was the 8th highest scoring goalkeeper in the league, but that was mainly down to AFCON. He would have been a lot higher if he'd have played all 38 games. Last season did play 34 games, conceded 31 goals and kept 14 clean sheets. Like I mentioned, Chelsea were the third best defence in the league with 16 clean sheets and also had the third best expected goals conceded. Chelsea also have amazing fixtures till around, I think someone put it on Twitter the other day, around game week 19. But I will read you the first 8. Everton, Tottenham, Leeds, Leicester, Southampton, West Ham, Fulham and Liverpool. Tottenham and Liverpool, the only two real difficult fixtures in there for Mendy. But with him being the most popular goalkeeper pick this season and at 5 million, I thought he was an absolute steal and a must-have in your team. I'd also maybe potentially recommend Ederson if you are looking at potentially a no Mo Salah draft, or if you just, fancy Ederson as well. He's a really good goalkeeper, but I can understand why a lot of people have gone for Ederson. This is the first draft I've included him on as well, so let's move on to the back line. Moving on to our first defender, it is Trent Alexander-Arnold at 7.5 million. Last season's highest scoring defender in FPL. Liverpool have amazing fixtures as well to start the season. Fulham, Crystal Palace, Man United, Bournemouth, Newcastle, Everton, Wolves and Chelsea. Some really saucy fixtures in there. Obviously the two big concerns are Man United and Chelsea, but for one of the strongest defences last season, actually the joint best defence in terms of clean sheets last season was Liverpool with 21 clean sheets. You get an amazing value with Trent as well. Got 12 assists and 2 goals last season. Also the second most for bonus points scored as well. He's a real no-brainer. I expect him to be in everyone's teams. If he's not, then I think you're probably not going to win FPL or be even close or even be in like the top 150k. So get Trent in your team. Don't be boring. Just put him in. And moving on to our second defender within the team, it is his Liverpool teammate Andy Robertson, the third highest point scoring defender last season in FPL with 186 points, playing 29 games, getting 3 goals and 11 assists. Massive overperformance on his expected assist data with that around 5.29. However, Robertson, another brilliant pick, an amazing value at 7 million. Last season there was a lot of contention, a lot of kind of deliberation around whether or not you go for Trent or Robertson. Well, since game week 10 last season, Robbo has outscored Trent by 4 points, has more goals and more assists during this period. So there's definitely an argument to be made to go for both. However, I do believe Andy Robertson is a little bit more of a rotation risk, with Simicast putting in some really good performances last season within the league. It does seem that Robbo is the one that is potentially more prone to rotation than Trent. That is just something that I've noticed. But with having both of these at the back for the start of the season before kind of the busy periods kick in and double game weeks and the Champions League and all that, really good, strong opening 8 fixtures, and I can see these guys getting at least 5 clean sheets, especially with their attacking returns as well. So a good, nice little Liverpool double up there. Moving on to the next defender in our team, and it is Reece James from Chelsea. Amazing value at 6 million. Last season, played 26 games, getting 5 goals and 9 assists. Overall was the 10th highest scoring defender, despite only playing 26 games, which is absolutely amazing. And like we said with Benjamin Mendy, has amazing fixtures pretty much till about game week 19. Sorry, that would be unreal if that was the case. My only concern with Reece James at the moment is potentially if Chelsea switch to a back 4, which it doesn't seem to be doing like they are in pre-season. They are keeping to that back 5, but One of my major concerns was the friendly against Charlton, where Reece James did play, in fact, right centre-back. That is a major concern for me because we do not want Reece James at centre-back. I'd prefer him to be obviously playing further up the field and kind of getting these attacking returns, because that's what's going to get him the bonus points. That's what's going to make him the top scorer within that Chelsea defence. And if he's playing at right centre-back, he's just not going to have that ability to go and do that. So that's a little bit of a concern, but it is only pre-season. He might just be getting the minutes in him because Hudson-Odoi played right wing-back, and I think it's just, at the moment, Chelsea don't have the centre-backs to kind of cover it. So I think that is the reasoning behind that. But we will have to wait and see. If that is a concern, we will obviously have to switch him out. Moving on to our next defender, and it is a little bit of a shock one. It is Dalot from Manchester United. Last season, a very poor season from him. Very much interchangeable, chopping and changing in and out of the side. 24 games, 0 goals, 0 assists. However, under Erik ten Hag, he has been kind of rejuvenated, would you like to say, in pre-season. He said that he's absolutely loving working under him, all the little details he's adding to his game. I did cover this in my video which came out on Friday, discussing Manchester United players. Should we avoid them? Should we potentially have them? And Diego Dalot was my top pick out of the bunch. Looks absolutely amazing in pre-season so far. Hit the bar and got himself a assist as well for Martial. And for me, another big thing is he looks fairly nailed at right back, kind of right attacking back slot, with Aaron Wan-Bissaka pretty much being deemed surplus to requirements at the moment. At 4.5 million, if we can get a top 6 defender who is going to be starting week in, week out in an attack-minded role, that is absolutely like bargain territory. That is unbelievable. He will, if he continues that, he will be like 5.5 by the end of the season. Amazing value, and someone I believe we should be hopping on early within our drafts. Obviously, I am waiting at the moment to kind of see if that form continues, whether or not United actually play a good opponent in terms of like the squad that they are able to put out, and really test Dalot, see what he's about, see if he can continue this good form. But at the moment, I'm very impressed with him, and I've included him in my draft. Also, United have really good fixtures: Brighton, Brentford, Liverpool, Southampton, Leicester, Arsenal, Crystal Palace and Leeds. Obviously, Liverpool and Arsenal, the big 2 concerns there, but the rest of them are really, really interesting fixtures for our team. Let me know, are you going to be potentially taking a punt on Dalot or any other United assets? Let me know down in the comments below. But let's move on to our final defender, and it is João Cancelo, last season's second highest scoring defender, 201 points, 1 goal, 11 assists in 36 games. Amazing fixtures for City to start the season: West Ham, Bournemouth, Newcastle, Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa, Tottenham and Wolves. If I had the budget, I would have included Ederson and gone for the City double up at the back, as I believe that could be a real good idea at the start. I could see City easily getting 6 clean sheets within that first 8, and that would give you a massive boost in your mini leagues, in your rank. It would really help. Obviously, City have just sold Zinchenko as well, which does look to potentially increase Cancelo's minutes within the Premier League, but it does seem that they're trying to sign Cucurella as a replacement, so I'm not sure how kind of that's going to work in terms of Cancelo's minute. We are just going to have to see how that one plays out. I've seen a lot of people saying like they're not having Cancelo in the team, and it is a little bit baffling, to be honest. I think the big thing is people are worried about potentially Pep Roulette, and I completely understand that, but not to include the second highest point scorer in terms of defenders last season does seem a little bit ludicrous to me. He also had the most shots amongst defenders with 81 shots last season, only scoring 1 league goal. The second closest was Trent with 51, so he's clear by a long way. He's getting in these positions where he's able to have the shots. Yes, a lot are coming from kind of edge of the box, outside the box, but if he continues to kind of put up these numbers, then surely 1 or 2 are going to slip through the net and, you know, increase his output. But let's move on to the midfield. Moving on to our midfield, as you can see, we've gone for a 5-2-3 formation. Not much depth within the midfield, and we have gone for 2 £8 million midfielders, as I do believe they are going to be absolutely magical this season. Starting off with the man on the left, we've gone for Luis Diaz. Last season for Liverpool, 4 goals, 3 assists in 13 games. Really did well, really kind of settled within that Liverpool team. and really did cement his place kind of on that left-hand side, especially with Mane departing and Jota injured for the first game. I do believe that makes him probably one of the most nailed Liverpool attackers, bar Mohamed Salah. Obviously, that completes our Liverpool triple up, and like we've been through with Robertson and Trent, amazing fixtures, especially that Fulham away one on the first day. I definitely could see Luis Diaz getting some sort of return for that game, because Fulham so far in pre-season just haven't looked it. They also haven't released a home kit, which is really annoying, because I would like to rank them all in a video. So Fulham, you are watching, just get on it, lads, so I can like crack on with that video. In terms of Luis Diaz as well, at Porto at the start of the last season, 18 games played, 14 goals, 4 assists. So 18 goal contributions in 18 games is absolutely mesmerising. A goal plus assist per 90 of 1.09. Absolutely scintillating stuff. He's had the time to kind of adapt and develop his game to the Premier League kind of within that 6-month spell. At the back end of last season. So now it's time for him really to kick on. Obviously Mane's gone. It's time for him to step up to the mark, put up the numbers that he was doing at Porto. If he can do that at 8 million, he's going to be in everyone's team. He's a fantastic asset to own, and there's a reason he's at 30% ownership. But let's move on to the other £8 million midfielder next to him, and it is Mason Mount, a man who I've been kind of singing the praises of all season. He was in my Game Week 1 updated draft video, so if you haven't seen that, please do and go and check that one out. Obviously, really big fan of Mason Mount this season. Last year, 11 goals, 11 assists, his best ever season for goals and assists, and had a goal plus assist per 90 of 0.8. Obviously not as good as Diaz, as we just saw before, but still very good numbers in terms of getting a top 6 attacker for really good value. On set pieces as well, which is a massive plus for our teams. Obviously offers that little bit of just something extra. Obviously, the big concern with Mason Mount was his overperformance on expected goals and expected assists last season, as last season his expected goals were at 8.08 and his expected assists were at 6.08. So as you can tell, 11 goals, 11 assists off them kind of data. There is going to be a turn to the regressional mean, obviously, unless he's an amazing finisher like kind of the Kanes and the Sons and the De Bruynes who kind of smash it every single year. I just don't think he's at that level, so I do think there will be a little bit of a dip. But like we mentioned, Chelsea have amazing fixtures. Everton away. Everton look really bad in pre-season so far at the moment. Obviously, getting beat by Minnesota 4-0 is not going to do anyone's confidence any good, and I do believe it's a fixture that we want an attacking player for. Obviously, a lot of people are talking about Sterling. I think he's a really good option, but for a Game Week 1 draft, we've got to look at everyone as kind of placeholders, and if Mount doesn't start well, I could just switch him out to another £8 million midfielder, but at 10 million, like, I think it just kind of damages the team structure a little bit. Do really like him as an asset, but I won't be selecting him for my Game Week 1 team. Let me know, are you including Mount or any other Chelsea attackers in your Game Week 1 draft? But with that in mind, let's move on to our 3 forwards. And start our attacking lineup, we have gone for Gabriel Jesus, the man in form at the moment in pre-season. 3 goals in 3 games for Arsenal since moving from Manchester City. The highest owned player in FPL as well at the current moment of recording. Really good fixtures to start the season, Crystal Palace, Leicester, Bournemouth, Fulham, Aston Villa, Manchester United, Everton and Brentford. Really good fixtures, and with him being the highest owned player in the game at the moment, it's someone that I definitely would want within my team. Last season, 28 games, 8 goals, 8 assists, however did play quite wide for Manchester City during a lot of those games. Last season as well, 0.77 goals plus assists per 90. A brilliant asset for your FPL teams and for Arsenal in terms of a forward. I think he'll link up the play. He'll bring other players into the game as well. He's an exceptional forward, is Gabriel Jesus. I think we're going to see the best of him now that he's taken a step away from Manchester City, because the same with Raheem Sterling really as well. I think people don't understand how good these players actually are till they do move away from Manchester City, because they're kind of just like bit part rotation players. That's the way kind of Pep has them working out, but like they're amazing players, and I think Jesus is going to hit the ground running at Arsenal. he's just going to continue this form that he's shown in pre-season and absolutely smash it and continue his high ownership well into the first few game weeks. Let me know, are you going with Jesus or are you going to miss out and potentially go and look at another option? But let's move on to our next forward, which is a little bit of a surprise one because it is Jamie Vardy. I've not seen anyone actually kind of include Jamie Vardy on their drafts. I've been a massive fan of Jamie Vardy since I owned him early on last season. He's one of my favourite players in world football. You know, chat shit, get banged. This man is an absolute legend, and I think he should be in everyone's teams. Obviously, the fixtures aren't amazing. Brentford, Arsenal, Southampton, Chelsea, Manchester United, Brighton, Aston Villa and Tottenham. Not the best opening 8 fixtures, and I think that's potentially why people are kind of leaning away from Jamie Vardy. But last season, 25 games, 15 goals, 3 assists. Hasn't failed to score 15 plus goals for 5 seasons now as well. Leicester have no European football this season, which is a massive plus in terms of Jamie Vardy and the Foxes as well, because Leicester just haven't got the depth to be going into European competitions, and you definitely could see that last season. It had a massive effect, I think, playing back-to-back European campaigns on their squad and kind of the injuries that they were sustaining, especially with Jamie Vardy. He just couldn't get himself fit for large parts of the season. As well, another thing that has really interested me, there's some other amazing FPL content creators out there who've been covering this in much more detail, but we will run through Jamie Vardy's first 5 game weeks for the past 3 seasons. So last season, 3 goals, 1 assist. You'd be very happy with that. The season before, 5 goals in 5 game weeks, but he actually only played 4 of the games. He missed game week 5, and 19-20, 3 goals, 1 assist. So like I said, he is a very strong starter to the season. Brentford as well, obviously a team with a very good defensive record last season. You know, they're not an easy pushover team, but Jamie Vardy does love a strong start to the season as well. Arsenal in game week 2, Jamie Vardy absolutely loves to play against Arsenal. One of his favourite teams to score against. 11 goals, 1 assist in 14 games is absolutely incredible record for a forward. Obviously, there is a little bit of a sticky point around Jamie Vardy. It is the fixtures. It is that 9.5 million price point. It is a question mark of whether or not you just kind of downgrade Jamie Vardy and potentially go for like a Saka or another 8 million, or even a Rashford potentially in midfield. But no one's including Vardy, and I really liked Vardy. I said this to one of my friends. I was like, Vardy will outscore Haaland in the first 5 game weeks, and I still stand by that right now. Yeah, I'm that confident in Jamie Vardy's ability. For me, he doesn't fit in my team and the way I want my team to be structured. I think I'd have to take Jesus out. But for this video, I have included him just to give you some food for thought, because I really like Jamie Vardy as an asset and think he'll do exceptionally well this season. But let's move on to our final forward, and it is the man, the myth, the legend. It's Harry Kane. A little bit of a different one as well for me. If you've been watching my videos so far this season, I've included Haaland on every draft I think I've done. Yeah, we've gone for Harry Kane just down to the fact that Haaland didn't play the other night against Club America, and apparently has picked up some niggles within training, which is not what we want to hear for a 11.5 million asset. So we've gone for Harry Kane. Obviously, he's doing exceptionally well in pre-season so far. 3 goals in 2 pre-season games. Top point scoring forward last year, 37 games at 17 goals, 11 assists and 192 points. Conte has got the main man firing yet again. Obviously, we all know about the connection that he's got with Heung-min Son as well. Was a fantastic asset to own at the kind of the back end of last season. And as well, something that really caught my eye was his record against Southampton. 11 goals, 8 assists in 18 games versus the Saints. Absolutely loves to get an attacking return against Southampton. And that, especially when we're going for a no Salah draft, is something that we're potentially looking at captain material right there, ladies and gentlemen. Loves a goal contribution as well against Southampton. He's licking his lips. He can't wait to get going, and I do think this Spurs team will start very strongly come the start of the season. We know what Harry Kane's all about. He's a brilliant passer of the ball as well, as he had the most attempted assists among forwards as well last season. Are you going to potentially go for Kane in this draft? Moving on quickly before we summarise the whole team, we will look at the bench. Olsen in goal has been playing games for Villa in pre-season and is only 4 million, so definitely worth a little cheeky bench punt there. Andreas Pereira been playing games for Fulham, 4.5 million, probably the best that you can get out there. And then we have gone for Bailey from Aston Villa. Again, been playing games, been impressing a lot of kind of Villa fans on Twitter. They seem to be enjoying the performances that he's putting in, and it does seem very strange that he's playing a lot of games. Obviously, there is a big concern around his injuries, but at Bayer Leverkusen, he was a terrific player, put up some amazing numbers, and at 5 million could be an absolute bargain, for your team. The final man on our bench as well is De Silva from Brentford. Obviously missed a lot of games due to injury last season, only managed to play 8 games, but again, I'd say he's probably the most risky 4.5 that you can go for in this team. But let me know, does this Mo Salah absent team work for you? Obviously there are a few kind of strange and different picks in Vardy and Dalot, but I do believe that these players could have a tremendous impact come the start of the season. Let me know your thoughts on the team down below in the comments. Are you looking to go without Mohamed Salah as well for the upcoming season? If you have enjoyed today's video, then please do please do subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we're trying to hit 1,000 subs before the end of the year. I would like to do it a little bit sooner, but beggars can't be choosers. And if we did hit that goal, it would be absolutely amazing to me. But without further ado, thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day.